Hey, Richard Bryce here, Tennis Hacker. In this video, I want to give you a little bit of help if you struggle with foot pain when you play tennis, or if you want to prevent foot pain when you play tennis, because it's very common and a lot of people ask me about it. So pain is a complex topic, but what I'm going to do here is show you some kind of fundamental foundational stuff that you need to have in place to try and deal with foot pain. I'm going to show you some really important mobilizations for your feet and for your ankles, because joints can be very problematic. If joints don't move properly, that can be a cause of pain all on its own because of kind of how pain works. The quick version of it is joints send information back to your brain. It should be happening regularly. If you're running and moving around on your feet, there should be good information going back to your brain. If smaller joints don't move, they don't send information back to your brain is going to see that as a big deal. It is not going to want you to play 3 hours of tennis all day, every day, with no information going back to it. So we're going to do some joint mobilizations. I'm also going to show you how to do a little bit of a nerve mobilization for the nerve that sends information to the calf and to the muscles on the bottom of the feet. Because, you know, just like the joints are really important, the nerves are really important as well. Sometimes they get a little bit sticky, and you know, there can be things going on where they don't quite do their job as well as they could, and when that happens, that can be a cause of pain as well. So we're going to start by doing some joint mobilizations. Then I'm going to show you a really cool nerve exercise that can be very effective at getting rid of pain and really useful for this stuff. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you find it helpful. If you do, it'd be fantastic if you give me a thumbs up, and if you're not currently a subscriber to my channel, really appreciate it if you could do that as well. Okay, so we're going to start off with some mobilizations. First joint I'm going to mobilize is the joint on the outside of the ankle, or just below the ankle bone, so you're thinking just down there. I'm just going to place my foot in front of me. I'm just going to roll out and try and open up that joint. So I'm not holding onto a muscular stretch, I'm just opening up a joint and closing it again. I'm then going to do the same thing on the other side. Now I know these don't look very exciting, and they're not very exciting, but as far as your brain's concerned, this joint moving properly and information going to and from it is a really big deal. So we've just done the outside of the ankle. We're now going to do just below the ankle bone on the inside of the ankle. For this one, I'm going to step out a little bit wider. I'm going to bend my non-working leg. This is my working leg, and I'm going to roll to the inside of the ankle. So again, I'm just trying to create an opening of that joint. And as you can see, I'm just doing 3, 4, 5 reps, just trying to get these joints open. Now, as you do these movements, you shouldn't get any pain. If you've got any pain at any point when you do any of this stuff, stop, because you do not get rid of pain and prevent injuries by going through more pain. That's not the way our bodies work. So I'm just doing this. If it hurts, you stop and don't carry on. But hopefully you can mobilize both of those joints without any pain. Really simple to do as part of your warm-up, and you can do it as part of your cool down as well. We're now going to work on the joints on the front of the foot. Now these are without doubt much trickier to mobilize. They're a little bit awkward, but it's really important that you know how to do this. It can be very beneficial. So the way that you're going to set up, you're going to hold on to something. I do not want you to do what I'm doing and do it on a hard floor to start with. It's a terrible idea the first few times you do it. I've done this thousands and thousands of times, so I'm okay with it. But I don't want you to start this way. Start with a cushion or something soft under your floor. Now I'm resting on the front of my toes, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to bend this leg forwards, but all I'm doing is I'm pulling this foot into the ground. So I'm basically just trying to stretch my foot just to open up the joints just here. So make sure you hold on for stability. I'm just going to be bending my front leg just a little bit, pulling my foot into the ground, forwards into the ground, to open up the front of the foot. So that is all I'm doing. I'm going to change to the other leg. It'll be the same. I'm just resting on my foot, and I'm just going to pull my foot forwards into the ground just to open it up. So that's the first part of it. We're now going to do 2 other variations. So I've just kind of done at the front, the middle. I'm now going to aim more towards the outside. And to get this one, I'm going to place my foot behind me. I'm going to drop it to the outside. So now I'm not here, I'm here. And I'm going to think about pulling my foot out to about 45 degrees. Like so. Just trying to get a little bit of an opening around here. Going to do the same on the other side. Drop it out. Just open it up. Just trying to create a little bit of a mobilization there. And that leaves me with one more. I'm going to be targeting this area-ish right here. It's going to look very similar, but now I'm just going to take my foot out a little bit wider. So I've done this, I've done this. Now I'm dropping my heel in and I'm pulling into 45 degrees. So I'm just trying to open my foot up there. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So that's what it looks like. They're the kind of mobilizations for some of the joints in the feet. They can be a little bit tricky to do. You might need to play around with them. It might feel a little bit uncomfortable on your toes. It might feel like a weird stretch in your shins depending on what's going on. But again, you shouldn't feel any pain whatsoever. If you feel any pain, stop. The final one that I want you to do is just an ankle circle. So I'm going to try and keep my shin still, and I'm just trying to create a circle from my ankle. Again, I'm just going to go for a few, so 3, 4, 5 circles in each direction. Notice that my whole knee isn't turning. I'm just mobilizing the ankle itself. And then I'm going to change sides and go for the same thing again. Also notice that I'm holding on. Now it's completely fine not to hold on if you've got the balance to do it. But what I don't want to turn this into is a balance exercise. We're trying to mobilize the feet and the ankles to make sure they're sending good information, not train your balance. So they're the basic mobilizations. Once you learn how to do them, it's a very good thing to do on a regular basis to help potentially get rid of pain and prevent pain. Okay, now that I've showed you the joint mobilizations, I'm going to show you how to mobilize a nerve. This is called the tibial nerve. It actually supplies some of the hamstrings, the calf, the muscles on the bottom of the feet, so it's a really big deal for, well, everything that you do on core, but potentially for preventing and addressing foot pain. So nerve drills are really powerful things. But because we're working on a nerve, you've got to be fairly sensible with the way that you do them. So throughout the movements that I'm about to show you, you're not going to go past 3 out of 10 in terms of tension. So the way I do it might look very different to the way you do it, because it's not about what I can feel, it's about what you feel. So think about 10 being the most crazy stretch you can imagine, 0 being nothing. We're going for about 3 out of 10 maximum. Less is more when it comes to nerve drills. So I'll show you what it looks like. I'm sitting towards the edge of the chair. So I'm not sitting back here. I'm sitting right towards the edge of the chair. I've got my legs straight. Obviously, it's in front of me, and I'm pulling my toes up. So hopefully you can see this. Then from there, I'm going to turn my toes out. I'm going to evert my foot. So I'm pulling the toes up towards me, and I'm everting my foot. If I show you that setup from the side, again, I'm on the edge of the chair. I've got my legs straight, I'm sitting up, I'm pulling my toes up, and then I'm turning them out. Now, with my foot held in that position, what I'm now going to do, keeping a straight back, is I'm going to lean forwards until I get 3 out of 10 in terms of tension. So for me, I do not have massively flexible nerves. So for me, that is a 3 out of 10 in terms of tension. You might find that you can lean your body to there before you get a 3 out of 10 tension. You might find that you can lean your body there before you get to 3 out of 10. Make sure the leg stays straight. Make sure the toes are up and pulled out. You've got to hold that in place. But you might find that you could get all the way forwards, and potentially, if you're really flexible, you might need to round your spine in that position. So you might need to go forwards and then kind of slump from the top as well. But what I find for most people, especially less flexible males like me, about this is often enough to create a significant amount of tension. And it could be in the hamstring, it could be behind the knee, it could be in the calf, it could be in the foot, but it's more likely to be back there somewhere. And you're just going to stop when you get the tension in that position. Okay, so that's the first part of the drill, finding the tension. Now, we're going to do 3 different things just to mobilize this nerve. The first one I'm going to show you from this direction. So the first thing that we can do, I've got my leg straight, I've found my tension. You're just going to twist the whole of your leg out and then back in. So as I twist my leg out, it'll take the tension off. So if I was feeling tension in my hamstring or a bit of tightness in my hamstring, when I do this, it will probably go down a little bit. When I do this, it will increase again. So you're just going to do this 3, 4, 5 times maximum. That is the first thing you're going to do. You could take a break and relax, or you could go directly into the next one, which is I'm going to work on the knee. So now I've found my tension, I've got my foot held in position, and I'm just going to bend the knee. And as I bend the knee, it just takes the tension off. If I had tension in the calf, as I bent the knee, it would take the tension out of the calf. and then you're just going to unlock it 3, 4, 5 times, just to do its job there. So we're making sure that there's no restrictions in the hip, then we're trying to make sure there's no restrictions in the knee. And then the third option that we've got, again, I found my tension. I'm now just going to try and make sure there's no stickiness in and around the ankle. So I'm going to relax my foot, and then I'm going to bring my foot back. And by doing that, it takes the tension off. And by doing that, it brings the tension back on. So we've got those 3 different options. We've got the hip, the knee, and the ankle. If I was doing that in real time without talking all the way through it, I would just bring it up. Well, I'll do it on the other leg. I would just bring it up, pull my toes back, find the tension, just do a few with the hip, do a few with the knee, do a few with the foot. So that's what it would do. In real time, it would take maybe 20, 30, 40 seconds just to try and make sure the nerve isn't sticky anywhere. Now, as a very good kind of warm-up or cool-down, you could do joint mobilizations plus this nerve drill, and potentially they can get rid of pain. This, if you've got pain, especially kind of on the bottom of the foot, this drill that I've just shown you can be one of the most effective ways to get rid of it. So if you do have pain and you try this drill and it makes it feel better, it's a good idea to do it on a fairly regular basis, maybe 4 or 5 times a day, not for hours, just like we did here. Just, you know, a few reps, calm things down, and then do it a little bit later on. But the same rules are going to apply. If when you do this, you get pain, stop. You are not pushing through pain. You should just feel a little bit of tightness either in the hamstring or the calf or behind the knee. So there you have it. These drills, hopefully they can be very beneficial for you. Obviously, like I said, pain is kind of complex stuff. If you would like more help with it, that's something that I work a lot with tennis players on. I don't have a masterclass specifically on foot pain at the moment, but I've got one on shoulder pain and back pain. I'll place links to those in the description so you can check those out if you want, because at least you could register and it could teach you more in depth about how pain works, so you can start to understand some of the options that are available to you. Because I find a lot of tennis players are struggling with injuries. They're working with physios, they're working with different types of therapists, and unfortunately a lot of these therapists don't actually get trained in pain science when they go through school. And without knowing kind of the underlying neurology of how all this stuff works, a lot of the time underlying causes of pain get missed by practitioners, not intentionally. It's not something they're doing deliberately, but it's just the reality of the situation. So often there are things that you can do to get rid of pain and injuries quickly. So check those out if you want to learn more about it, and then potentially reach out if you find what I kind of talk about and discuss there beneficial. Okay, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Any questions or comments, let me know. Obviously, if you try this stuff and it makes your feet feel better, leave a comment letting me know down below.